Cinephiles, film enthusiasts, and relaxation seekers. My name is Cinephile ASMR, and Merry frickin' Christmas. Now, if you don't celebrate the holiday of Christmas, congratulations on surviving 2021. We have all of us, made it through another year of this pandemic while also just trudging through the burdens of life. Give yourselves all a pat on the back. And honestly, it has been an insane year. But to commemorate these cold winter months and the weather being as bitter as it is, the atmosphere being just that chilliness, I wanted to really recommend what I feel to be the perfect, not only Christmas movie, but a film that you can put on and puts you right into that blanket covering self with a cup of coffee, tea, hot cocoa, you name it, and just bundling up. And that is why today we are talking about Michael Dougherty's Krampus. There are often combinations that on paper don't really sound like they would mix well. I mean, one of the biggest standing examples would be pineapple on pizza. You know, you have the diehard Italians who would freaking chastise you to the end of days that combination would never work, while you also have some people like me who kind of love it. Now, that example rings so true when you think about a horror movie set on Christmas. There's only a handful that I've ever heard of, and Krampus sits directly atop that throne of the best of the best. The story follows Toni Collette and Adam Scott as the husband and wife to a family who right before Christmas and their extended family come together to celebrate. But each family has incredible dysfunction, and the Christmas spirit is dying, with the only child, Max, having a vibrant Christmas spirit which gets extinguished by those around him trying to deflate it. And as such, Krampus comes to kind of remind them what happens when you lose faith in Christmas. It is a fairly straightforward plot, and Krampus is based off of a very prevalent and popular European folktale that is celebrated yearly. This is something that visionary director Michael Dougherty knew full and well about. This wasn't his first rodeo making a horror film set behind a holiday, whereas his first directorial debut was with Trick or Treat, which is freaking fantastic. And this movie further proves his understanding for making the best out of a holiday horror feast. This certainly isn't within the same vein as a horror movie such as The Conjuring, The Exorcist, or something that would really scare you to the depths that those films would, as this takes a lot more, as Michael Dougherty coins it, a gateway film that can be seen for kids, which will give them nightmares, but you can watch it across all ages and have a lot of fun with it while cementing itself as a horror classic. It really is only set within this family's house and an occasional walk to the outside blocks, and it's such a claustrophobic and atmospheric experience because of such. Paired is the fact that you have such heavyweight actors as Adam Scott, Toni Collette, David Kushner, and so many more in this movie that are used for their comedy in their typical acting choices and is used in this, but are also taken to a very serious level because of the stuff they're thrusted into. This movie's insane on all levels, but before it gets to the craziness with Krampus and all of his mischievous elves and gingerbread men, which it's insane and I'll get to, you really get to learn to develop within the dysfunction of these family members why they are the way they are, what has gotten them to the points in which they are, and it's crazy, it's insane, but there's a lot of beauty found, and I think you can really connect as someone who's a part of a family, and even if it's not within your family that you find this dysfunction, you can see that there is some sort of art form within finding a connection in that. And whether it comes to Toni Collette and husband, Adam Scott, or David Kushner and Allison Tolman in the other family, you're able to find why they work so well, and when they're put into such incredibly wild moments, such as fighting these creatures, you really see them having to come together and put their differences aside. And I cannot give enough importance to Michael Dougherty and the co-creative team behind this film. It was shot in a soundstage, and the creatures that were used were mostly practical, from the person that was utilizing the Krampus suit to a freaking slug snail like Jack. And I'm not gonna spoil too much of it because it's worth experiencing, but all of it was used within the company Weta, which has housed so many classic filmmakers' visions, such notable examples being Peter Jackson for The Lord of the Rings. And it's so evident because although maybe some people would debate whether they think CGI versus practical effects are better than the other, it's clear that it is a lot more tangible. And it's insane, it's wild, it's nuts to butts, mouth on the floor. And when you're seeing all this stuff unfold, you have to realize that this isn't a very serious film in that sort of instance, but I shouldn't let you believe that because of such, you should really lower your appreciation for the film, because there is a lot of effort that goes into it. And I love this movie so much. It is a yearly classic watch, and it isn't just cheap jump scares, but it's mainly an atmospheric experience. And it's bitter, it's cold, it's frigid. You get so chilly just hearing the sound of the wind and the blizzard, on top of the fact that you have Krampus hunting down this family for not believing in the spirit of Christmas. And it's crazy because they're gonna send them down to the underworld. It's wild. It really does beg this idea that horror films now, I guess perhaps because they're so easy to mass produce, don't really find their own lane like Krampus or Trick or Treat does. Not within the holiday horror, but more not necessarily taking itself so seriously, as opposed to more just having fun while also maximizing the effort. And these creatures are freaking nuts. Some of the most memorable designs and executions I've ever seen within the genre. It truthfully is an utter blast from beginning to end, and something that, while I love the horror and the campiness, I really do find myself just being so engaged within how the characters evolve, and you realize in under like 95 minutes you resonate with a lot of the family members, and by the end you're not only wanting them to escape, because it's not just the fact that, you know, it's a freaking goat hooved horse creature that's trying to kill them and you want them to live, but because you care about them. And it's really awesome because, for me at least, in such absurdity, I was able to really tangibly find myself within each of these characters and relate it to my family, which then in turn made me really appreciative that I'm not being chased by Gingerbread Man, a slug, Jack in the Box, or Krampus, but also the fact that, like, family's family, you know, you gotta get with the dysfunction, but you also find the beauty in it. And I love it, man. And I gotta really thank Michael Dougherty for making one of the craziest, riskiest ventures in the horror genre, and as a result made it a yearly classic for me. And I hope it does for you too. It's freaking nuts. It is an incredible experience that I really hope you can reveal to your family members and your friends and just bask in its glory. It's wild, it's hilarious, it's heartfelt, it's terrifying, while also leaving you with one of the best experiences of the holiday you can find. So go check it out, guys. 2021 is wrapping to a close. I'm so thankful for you guys to be on board. Let me know what you thought of Krampus down below. What is your favorite Christmas time watch? Do you have a favorite? Do you think there is like a horror film that seeps itself into like the Christmas time? It doesn't even have to be like directly Christmas, just maybe snow or or whatever you just resonate with most. Let me know down below. As for me, it's Krampus. That's my ride or die, baby. But yeah, I love you all so much. And as always, thank you for watching. And remember to take life one frame at a